So today the girls and I are going to look at 4 different white flowered hydrangeas. They're all lace caps and they're all flowering in early June, which is very early for hydrangeas to be flowering. And the first one we're looking at is Hydrangea Golden Crane, or to give it its full title, this is Hydrangea scandens var chinensis subspecies parvipetala. Sorry, angustipetala. So that's quite a mouthful. I think we'll just stick to golden crane, don't you, girls? Right. When we look at the flower, like all hydrangea flowers, they that are lace caps, they have an outer ring of white florets that are sterile, and the fertile flowers are these deep sort of golden yellow flowers in the middle, and that's what the bees will be going to get the nectar from. Now this hydrangea is a tall growing thing. It's 10 or 12 feet tall. It's flowering right up to the top, but it's also flowering very nicely down at the bottom. And this was discovered in Sichuan about 20 years ago by a man called Dan Hinckley, who's a very well-known plant breeder and introducer of rare new things into horticulture in America and the UK. What are you going to say, Isla?
What's your favourite hydrangea?
Well, we'll look at some more, or we maybe find out.
Ooh.
Anyway, what a wonderful thing this is. What a beautiful thing in the garden for early June hydrangea golden crane. We're now going to move on and find another one. We'll go back that way. So here is a rather better known white hydrangea, also a lace cap. And this is called Hydrangea Runaway Bride. And it was bred in Japan by Mr. Ushio Sakasaki. And he bred that in Japan really quite recently. This was the RHS Plant of the Year at the Chelsea Flower Show in 2018. So it's quite a famous plant, and it's also a very new plant. As you can see, it's not a huge grower. One of its parents is Hydrangea scandens, but growing in the shade as it is here, and usually white hydrangeas grow best in the shade because they scorch a bit in the sun. But growing here on this little bank, it's doing very well. And what a lovely thing to have in your garden. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Good-o. Right, on we go to another one. So, Isla, what do you think of this hydrangea?
Well, it's very colourful.
This is not got a varietal name. This is a species. This is Hydrangea scandens var chinensis, and it was first discovered, although under another name, by Thomas Lobb in Taiwan about 150 years ago. It didn't come into cultivation in the UK until about 1934, and it's never really caught on until more recently, when it was being reintroduced by Krug Farm Nurseries, because it's quite tender. So this is a hardiness rating of 3, RHS hardiness rating 3, which means it can tolerate only 5 degrees of frost. And when the first plants came in from Taiwan, they called them Hydrangea Libelle. And Hydrangea Libelle is quite similar to this, but actually is even more tender. And we planted that at Burncoos and here at Caerhays 2 or 3 times, and even 1 degree of frost will kill that. So Hydrangea Libelle, which you will see in the Burncoos catalogue, is certainly one for the greenhouse. Hydrangea scandens var chinensis, very lovely thing, grows to about 4 or 5 feet. Quite similar in the arrangement of the florets to golden crane, which is obviously also a named form of scandens. But this is much smaller growing, rather more suitable for a smaller garden. And what do you think, girls?
It's very
Very what?
It's very like limeish. Yeah.
That's a very good description, a limeish colour. So there we are, one more hydrangea to go. So now we're standing by a much more conventional hydrangea, a Hortensia hydrangea, originally from Japan, of which there are hundreds and hundreds of varieties which we grow in our gardens. And they can be either lace caps, as we're looking at today, or mop heads with a round bundle. Now, most of these Hortensia hydrangeas aren't out yet, but since we were looking at white lace cap hydrangeas, I thought the girls might show you a particularly pretty little lace cap hydrangea, and one of the very best white ones, which is not out yet, it's just starting. So girls, let's have a look at your hydrangeas. This is Hydrangea Libelle, which Berncoos have frequently had on their stand at the Chelsea Flower Show, and there were some there this year. They were out a bit further than these are, but you can see just forming again. You've got the central fertile bits of flower and these little florets around the edge, which are really just for show, to attract the insects to come and pollinate the flowers. And I'm afraid there's no smell, girls, is there?
No.
So, do you think you like hydrangeas as much as magnolias?
Yeah, kind of. Because I like the multicoloured ones. Those. I like the petals of these.
Good. They're very pretty, aren't they?
Yeah.
Zara, what are you going to say something?
Zara likes.
No. Nothing doing today. Our first appearance, after all. Okay, there we are. 4 different white lace cap hydrangeas, 1 common one, 3 unusual species. There we go.